These two girls walked in, and my mom had like just come in after her day job, and they're like, "What about a piece of this?" And she just lifted up her shirt and she was butt naked and right in front of my mom. I was like, "What the fuck is happening, dude?"
And they always poop about 2 feet up, lean on the wall and just shit. And I'm like, what? Can you just do it on the ground? You know, is it all?
Right. Today on the podcast, Buddy Holiday from Downtown Tattoo. Having worked 25 years as a tattooer, he opened up Downtown Tattoo on Fremont Street in Las Vegas back in 2008. He has built one of the most flash-covered, character-soaked American traditional tattoo shops in the country.
You go to like open the back door and it just smears poop.
Yeah.
Man.
We get into some wild downtown shop stories, Fremont Street chaos, and what it's really like tattooing in some of the craziest environments Vegas has ever seen.
Most of the time they lie and they say, I'm going to go travel for a bit.
Yeah.
And then next week they're posting online that they're
the street.
Yeah, they're up the road and you're like, why couldn't you just be honest? Like, we're not having sex.
No, I know.
Like, you don't need to lie to me. You're not some chick.
Breaking up is hard to do.
Yeah, right?
Plus, we are joined by my dad, Charlie Spencer, as we break down old Vegas tattoo culture, how the industry has changed, and the reality of building something that lasts. I'm Austin Spencer, and this is Support Your Local Tattooer. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Support Your Local Tattooer. I'm Austin Spencer. Today, I'm super pumped, man. We got my buddy. As soon as that came out, oh, that sounds silly. Buddy Holiday in the house, and we are. I don't know, man. I've just like been dying to talk to you, and we got my dad, Charlie Spencer, in the house. So yeah, what do you got? Is this how many podcasts have you done there, buddy?
A few, I think. Yeah.
Are you getting more comfortable with the whole process?
I'm never more comfortable. No, yeah.
I was watching your episode on Skin Deep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With Josh, like,
yeah,
it was great. He did a good job. Yeah.
He didn't he made me look better than I usually do, you know.
I think a lot of us, like, obviously we just been tattooing, and we've been all tattooing way before social media and having to talk to the camera type shit.
It's weird.
So now it's like a weird thing. But I think this setup is like a little more comfortable. Like once you kind of sit down and relax, like it gets going there. But
one thing I do is I always like touch my glasses or touch my face. I'm like, what am I doing? I can't watch any of them.
It's like Will Ferrell, what
yeah.
and
I'm super nasally.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. Today I'm extra nasally because I'm getting over the flu. But
yeah, no worries. Well, I'm glad you're healthy, and thanks for coming here, dude. So we've owned tattoo shops in the same city. We've tattooed, a lot of even some of the same people and stuff over the years. It's so super fun just to sit down and bullshit and rap, and I'm like stoked to learn more about you and share with everybody like my passions, and like I'm super excited to talk to you just more about like, dude, your shops, like you have 2 shops now, or hands down the coolest shops. Like I think like I really, really love going to your shops. There's just so much soul and so much energy and history behind everything. And I was like watching this video the other day. It said that you had like 1,300 hand painted flash sheets, you think, roughly around?
Way more than that.
Way more?
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, we're probably Fremont Street, I would say like over 2,000, and then Water Street we're almost done with the ceiling, so we probably have like close to 1,000 there.
Yeah, all
and then
originals.
also like the flash racks. I got flash racks, and we started filling those. I'll have the shop guy count them. I'll get an exact number because now I'm curious.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes sense.
When we used to count them, I used to count like, oh, there's like a little thing that we painted on the side. I'm like, I'm not even gonna count any of that. Like I just want like the sheets. Like,
dang, yeah. Yeah, your shop, and all the sign painters that you've had come through over the years, and different illustrators and stuff do all sorts of cool shit. Like, have you been
still buy the flash racks like the old days?
Yeah,
the strips
they're hard to find now.
Yeah.
We still have ours.
Trying to find them used or something. Ours are somewhere.
They're in the back closet. I've already been going.
If you want to sell them? Let me know.
Nothing. I was just thinking that you might.
I want to keep them now and like pull out. Like I pulled out all this like old Bill Canales flash and like Aaron Dill, just a lot of like San Diego guys that I followed over the years. So I have a lot of their stuff and shit we picked up from like Mike Belzell and just like a lot of random stuff. But we didn't really like collect a whole lot because when we came on, we were trying to be custom shop,
I know,
so it was like that.
We had
that time when people
flash racks though. I mean,
we did, yeah. For the first like 4 or 5 years.
Flash, and I don't remember all the names, but That was one that I always enjoyed. Hair Perfect had great flash.
So you have two shops. You one in old. What do you call it? It's like Henderson, like Old Henderson.
Yeah,
like
downtown Henderson, Water Street.
And then you have got the OG one on Fremont Street.
Yeah.
And that's your second location of the Fremont Street one? Like,
yeah, we were on 7th and Carson. And then when Zappos moved everything down, Tony Hsieh, the owner of Zappos, he started buying up all the property down there.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he just thought everyone that was in the area that was already there were just garbage. So he just kicked everyone out.
Dude, that was like 2008, like during the recession or some shit, right? Like
I opened in 2008. So that had to have been 2012, 2013.
Oh, okay.
So my lease came up for renewal and they wouldn't renew it. So I did 2 years and I renewed the first 2. And then after the next 2, they wouldn't renew it. So, and the building was just sold. And I was like, okay, or was in the process of selling. I was like, I get what's going on here.
Dude.
And then they like kicked us out to put restaurants there. But it just worked out where I'm at now. My landlord, he didn't want to rent to tattoo shops because he had like these, like 2 different shops right next to where, like I'm at 1106, it was 1104. He had 2 different shops in there, and they just like, they were like, one shop was running girls out of there, another one was drugs, and he's just like bad, whole bad setup for him. And then so I was like, no, please just come check out the shop I have now. So he came in and we talked, and he's awesome. He's all in old cars and stuff like that. He's like, cool. And I had my Merc at the time. So so like he was jazzed on my car. He's like, and also my wife was around, so he could see that I wasn't like,
just being a jackass. Yeah. Well, so that neighborhood was pretty rough too. I mean,
yeah. So. Oh man, yeah. And like that guy kicking everyone out was bad for a lot of people.
It was,
and also like all those motels were like, I mean, there was like a lot of old people living in them. It was like their only option, so that sucked. But then like some of the shitty people got kicked out too. It's
hard bad with the word karma, but karma's a bitch.
Yeah, you do whip it till you die, like he did. So fuck him.
Damn. So you've been in yours. You said since the newer.
Yeah, the new one. So 2008 to 2013. We were there just like exactly 5 years. Yeah. And then from 2013 till now,
Dude, the not owning the building thing is like, to any younger tattooers that are getting super excited about opening their shop and everything, and you start getting in there, you start putting so much time and love and energy and investing in that property, and then the fact that you could just lose it at any point in time is pretty bummer.
Pay a sign painter to come paint the windows. You can't take those with you.
Yeah.
But I did get the door.
You did?
When they remodeled, the construction workers brought the door. Oh. Yeah, the glass from the door. And so now at home, I had it on my tiki bar. Like I built a bar, and it was like a shadow box, And then when we moved, I disassembled all that, and now I had a guy build a desk for the front of the shop, and it's
that's it. Cool. Okay. Yeah. You
know
there the other day. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I haven't been in there.
Oh man,
I went by your older shop. And for some reason you were closed or something. I went by to visit one time, and I don't get downtown much, so I haven't been back down to your new shop. And
weren't you living down there for a while?
I did. I lived at the Newport Lofts.
Okay.
Which was quite a trip.
Yeah. Jay Swarm telling me, he's like, we'll go there and run like laps on the roof or something.
While we were drunk.
Yeah.
Throw fireworks at the bums, taking shits on the sidewalk.
I'd look down there, and the hookers are down there walking around, and I had these poppers that I'd bought in San Francisco. They sound like fireworks. I mean, they're not like the little ones the kids pop. They were like twice as loud. So I'd get a bunch of drug dealers and hookers down there, and I'd just toss a few down, and the streets just cleared. It was hilarious. Awesome. Nobody thought to look up and see where they were coming from. 17 floors up. That was great living down there. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The views were spectacular, and the nonstop, entertainment from above.
Dude, you've been downtown for that long. Like, you have seen it get better, but there's also still an incredibly large amount of just wild ass shit. And it reminds me of, like, I don't know, there's something I love about like a tattoo shop being in a wild ass neighborhood.
Exactly. Yeah.
As long as it doesn't come into the shop too much.
Yeah. And usually they learn pretty quick.
Yeah.
They're not welcome there.
Yeah. They know where they stand with you and everything.
Yeah.
You had some pretty wild stories up there.
I'm sure you got some wild walk-ins.
Oh yeah. We got some wild. Yeah.
You have some regulars that come and go? Or,
yeah.
As far as.
Yeah. And then they'll disappear, and you're like, oh, did they die? And sometimes you'll see them like years later and they're like even worse, or they're like the rare occasion they're better. Oh, they come by and then you're like, wow, I never would have guessed that you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's not that often.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the stories from our first shop down there.
Yeah.
In Marville,
oh, yeah.
You know? We were right by the tunnel. It's a mile-long tunnel where there's a whole city of people living under there. So they'd come out of the tunnel and introduce themselves to us on a regular basis.
Yeah. Oh, shit, yeah.
Have you seen any of those documentaries about the people that live under there?
Yeah.
In our city? It's wild.
Too.
So we were right there. Like that was one of the main entrances and exits. It was like right at the base of our shop. So I remember I was sitting at the front counter with my mom one day and these two girls walked in and they were just like, I could tell they were kind of like working girls, you know? And then they were like asking about a quote or whatever. And my mom had like just come in after her day job and was just standing right next to me. And they're like, well, what about a piece of this? And she just lifted up her shirt and she was butt naked and right in front of my mom. I was like, what the fuck is happening, dude? And the bums like shitting out in front of your shop. I'm sure you've had.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Like, or you wake.
Yeah. You go to like open the back door and it just smears poop. Yeah. You're just like, oh, man.
I remember Kane, our piercer, Kane Friesen, came in one day and he was just really upset. He goes, Tutu just pulled up our dress and took a shit right in front of me right in front of the shop. And I said, well, so good. I don't know, go spray it down. But I don't know what to do.
And they always poop about like what, 2 feet up? They like lean on the wall and just shit. And I'm like, what?
It drains down.
Can you just do it on the ground? You know, is it all right?
Or you can't get your door open because someone's sleeping in front of it.
Yes.
Like so many times you're like, I don't want to like ask this dude to move, but like, bro, you got to move. I got to open up shop today. And then they get all crazy on you when they get up.
Yeah.
You ever had anybody try to fight you walking in there or anything? Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. Dude. And well, I don't help the situation, you know? Just like kind of mess with them. I've calmed down a lot. Yeah. But, you know, you're messing with them and then they like pop on. You're like, oh, man, I thought you were strung out and like you wouldn't be able to stand up and try to fight me.
They stand up. They're like 2 feet taller than you and a lot more aggressive than you and have nothing to fucking lose.
Yeah.
Damn. So your shops, you've been focused on American traditional, you know, all your flash is American traditional. And you didn't start out tattooing like with your love for American traditional, right?
No,
yeah. It was like, how'd you fall into that?
Like when I started, all the stuff I liked in the magazines was New School.
Yeah.
You know, that was what's going on in the early 2000s, late 90s, you know? And that's what in high school I messed around with graffiti and stuff. So I was kind of drawn to that. But then trying to think, well, during my apprenticeship, you know, Mike Stevens, my mentor, he had a bunch of flash on the walls and I seemed to like the traditional more.
Yeah.
And the black and gray stuff, like the Corey Miller stuff was awesome on the walls and all that.
Yeah, no doubt.
But like out of all the stuff, it seemed like the traditional was really cool. And I didn't really understand it, you know, but then Ryan Downey, when I started hanging out with him and then yeah, and then
was that at Pussycat? Were you over there?
Yeah, I ended up at Pussycat.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's where I first met you, was at Pussycat.
Yeah. You would come by and participate in our art shows and stuff.
Oh yeah,
which is awesome and a cool thing to do in a community of tattooing. It's
I know, especially like we're so competitive and you work in a different shop, you're like,
it's cool that you were always like open to like participate and stuff. And as like sometimes when people all of a sudden take on that title of shop owner, it's like almost like they distance themselves or start to feel like insecure or some shit. And you're like, dude, we can all still be homies and like work together and help each other out. And
it is weird though, right? It's almost like you become like shop owners will become like North Korea, you know, like the Hermit Kingdom. They don't want anyone to like, you know, they don't want their guys to associate with. Yeah, it's weird.
Especially old school. Like,
my mentor was like that.
Yeah. I'm sure younger shop owners are still maybe like
when
that.
People leave too, that, you know, there's always hard feelings no matter what you do. I mean, they never leave on good terms for some reason. You try.
Yeah.
I remember Austin walking in one day in the back room and I don't remember who he was talking to. I just picked up on the conversation as I walked in. He goes, I really like you. He goes, you're going to hate me when you leave, but I really like you right now. And I don't remember who that was, but I thought, that's a pretty funny thing to say, but it's very true.
Yeah, and like how, like, dishonest a lot of guys can be when they leave. So it's like if they leave to work in town, you almost guarantee you're not going to be friends because they like most of the time they lie and they say, I'm going to go travel for a bit.
Yeah.
And then next week they're posting online that they're up the road and you're like, why couldn't you just be honest? Like I would have been annoyed.
Yeah.
But at least like you didn't have to like, we're not having sex.
I know.
Like, you don't need to lie to me. You're not some chick.
Breaking up is hard to do.
Yeah,
it's so true, man. I had so many like face-to-face conversations with somebody like, just want to make sure we're cool, or everything good. Like, I'm stoked to have you here. Blah blah blah. 2 seconds, and like literally like 2 days later, they're like, oh yeah, I'm starting over here, and I already have my own logos, and I already did all my own stuff. And you're like, okay, bro, like so you already knew about all this obviously 2 days ago when we had that conversation. You looked me dead in the eye and said you're totally stoked and you can't wait to. I'm like, what the fuck?
And then like some of that, I wonder when that was going down at those particular times, if it was me, because like how I, like they probably saw how I reacted when other guys left.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like, like, why would I be honest with this guy? He's going to be a dick.
No, for sure. I
think that, I was responsible for a lot of that too.
Yeah.
I had no patience with lazy artists, people showing up late. Yeah. Which is pretty much
every tattooer,
75-80%.
Yeah, exactly.
They show up early.
Yeah.
Like I was like, you can't get here at noon. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I worked another career before I did that, and I had to be at work at 5 a.m, and I'd work from 5 to 1. And then I went and apprenticed at Prick's Tattoo from 1 till 11. Yeah. And then I got up and did it every day over and over, and it was like, how can you not get here at noon?
The crack of noon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard you have a reputation for running a pretty tight ship, right? I mean, your expectations for your artists you have kind of a nice.
Yeah, that's probably why I said that. Like, I know a lot of it was probably me, but
that's a good thing though.
Yeah. I don't know. Treat it like a job.
Yeah.
Treat it like a career because it is, Yeah.
You've been so good too about you, like, it's obviously this culture that you built within your shop is if you have downtime, like you don't have downtime essentially. Like if you're not tattooing, you're painting.
Yeah.
That's a part of your culture that you built in your shop too, right?
Yeah.
Which, ours used to be real strong like that too. Kind of iPad kind of threw things off. But you've been able to like stick with this niche, this American traditional niche, and keep all these great tattooers coming to you. It's really impressive. It's cool. Thanks. And you've kept that same formula since day one, right?
Yeah, like I have a rule where you have to paint a sheet of flash every week. It doesn't have to be for the shop, it could be for yourself or whatever, but you have to paint a sheet of flash because you need to stay productive. And you like, what are you selling? You gotta let everyone know what you're up to. So you got like a sheet of flash and they come in and like show them, or now with the internet, put it online or whatnot. And and so that's built up all the flash we have in the shop and everything. And I don't know, just give back to tattooing. Like if I could paint 2 sheets a week, someone could paint 1. Like I'm busy tattooing and running 2 shops and have my home life and all that.
Yeah. I would just hearing you say just about everybody painting 1 sheet, and then you have these older sheets of people that maybe you crossed paths with and maybe have the best relationship anymore, but you still take pride in having that sheet there. Because it's a part of the history and the culture of your shop, and I like that. It was cool.
Yeah, so I have sheets up with guys that I don't get along with anymore or whatnot. Yeah. Well, but then as time goes on, those relationships get mended. Yeah. Like I have probably like 100 sheets of Ross Henry flash on the walls, and for a while there we didn't care for each other. Because he quit, he went on to do his own thing, which is like. You need to do, know what I mean? But at the time I didn't understand it. And so like we've mended things since, and I still have all those sheets up, and they're really cool too. Yeah. So and we get to tattoo off of them still.
It's almost like you have like even more of an intense relationship with them because you've seen the ups and downs with that person and stuff.
Yeah. That's cool. Then like there's still cool designs and people pick them. So and he's cool too. You know what I mean? Like I just you get hot-headed and someone leaves.
Well, we're emotional people. We're, tattooers. I mean, we're artists, and, and it just comes out sometimes. Yeah, it does. And we're not all the best communicators.
And sometimes it's like, it's not even that guy. It's like the 20 people that left before them, and they're just getting all of it because I don't know, caught you on the wrong day, or you know,
like going into a relationship sour because your ex
or
cheated
the
on you or
last
some
guy,
shit.
or the guy that quit before him was like a super tough guy, and you couldn't yell at him. So this guy you're yelling at, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, the guy's like, man, I don't know what I did, you know.
Dang,
the poor guy, the poor weak guy.
Yeah,
managing friends, relationships in the business is a very difficult thing. It's like you fall in love with the people around you, you know, you can't help it. Then you also like, we all have these strong personalities, and where sometimes they start veering off on a different path, and that doesn't rub, you know, it's just not right with you. And then it's like you're trying to figure out how to like jump in there and keep it together, and then sometimes there's nothing you can obviously do about it. Like I
remember trying to
dead on
keep my mouth shut and not say what was on my mind. So I would notice that I'm not talking to this guy for 2 weeks.
Yes.
So he knows he's probably on the outs, you know, just because I won't look at him, I won't talk to him, because I don't want to cause a fracas in front of everybody.
Yeah,
you know. I wasn't very good at that. But,
I've done that, where you give someone the cold shoulder, and it's like, that's no way to work, right?
No, I know.
You go to work, and also like they're making a drop at the end of every day. So how like horrible is that for that guy? He's like, man, I could give this guy money. You won't even fucking talk to me.
Yeah. I know for sure. Hey, thanks for checking out today's episode. If you're watching and listening, the chances are you're a tattoo artist who lives by their gear. And if that's the case, doesn't it make sense to buy from people who actually understand tattooing? We built Maverick Supply Co. for this reason. Gear, supplies, essentials built by tattooers for tattooers. To see what we do, scan the QR code on the screen and hit the link in the show notes below. Now back to the show. You said you used to drink a lot more, and now you've been sober for 7 years.
Yeah.
Is that something that you think has helped you out? You know, you mentioned.
Of course. Yeah. That and therapy.
Yeah. Like show up fresher every day.
And I'd show up like early instead of late.
Yeah.
I would get mad at people for being late, but I was late all the time. So it was like almost like if you're later than me, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, actually, it was like hungover all the time. And but like I'm more productive. Like, you know, come out with, I don't know how many books since. I think I have 10 books out, but I think I've come out with 9 of them since I quit drinking. So
damn. Well, good for you, dude.
You gotta focus your energy on something besides.
That's really impressive.
Drinking.
Yeah,
we got all this extra time. What am I going to do with it?
No, for sure. It is pretty wild how it. Yeah, I haven't been sober for more than like 2 weeks, maybe. But.
But you might not have a problem. You know what I mean? I was drinking every day and way too much, and it progressively got worse. And you know, like in the beginning, it was like, you know, when we early 2000s tattooing in Vegas, there was 20 shops, 30 shops, you know, so that you would go out to a bar and you were almost like I hate to say it, sounds dorky, but almost like a celebrity or a rock star. Everyone knew who you were.
Remember it.
And then, you know, you're partying, having fun, and then I don't know, at one point it just I stopped going to the bar and just kept drinking at home, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know when it happened. And
I remember those days. You walk into any restaurant and you like someone knows you, or you know the bartender or the manager. Food's getting sent over, cocktails are covered.
It was like a small town.
It was.
You felt like you were in a small town.
Yeah, it was really hard to not go out too. and justify it by being like, well, this is how I meet people, and this is how people get to know me. So I'm constantly giving out cards.
My job.
It did push my business for a real long time, and then I noticed like once I had kids and I didn't go out, and then I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, but now we have other tools. We have a social media.
Totally. Yeah, you can do it all on the toilet.
Yeah. And then how weird was it when you knew of a good tattooer, but you never saw them out?
Yeah.
Like Victor Whitmill.
Oh, yeah. He was like a legend.
Never met the guy. Yeah. And like you knew his tattoos, they were great, but you never saw him out.
Yeah.
Kent Kelly, like you would never see him out.
No, for sure. Oh, he would run into him getting tattooed somewhere.
That's it.
I watched him get tattooed by Chris Trevino at like a San Diego show one time.
Really?
Time ago. Yeah, I was like, fucking cool. Yeah, you've worked with all of like the old school Vegas tattooers.
A lot of them.
So many fantastic tattooers came out of Pussycat too.
Yeah.
Like how was your experience over there?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dirk was awesome. It is still awesome. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dirk, like when he hired me, he said, do good tattoos and pay your rent on time.
That's so cool.
And like he ran it like kind of like I guess maybe like a salon where you just come and go, you pay rent. And his thing was he just wanted to be able to have a custom shop that was good and not have to worry about, you know, people stealing from him and all that. And he just, dude, that shop was like a breeding ground for a lot of the good shops in town.
1,000%. Yeah.
Like Aaron Neiman has a shop.
Yep.
He worked there. Me. And
Yeah.
a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Brains.
He was good at having like group art shows, and his band would play in that little tiny lobby and shit.
Yeah.
That was like my first exposure to going to a tattoo shop, and it was just so much more than just a tattoo shop.
Yeah, the Gallery of Go-Go.
Yeah.
Those were fun.
Yeah, cool.
Crazy parties. Everybody was involved in the art shows. Everybody signed the doors. Remember, he had like a door in there.
Yeah, with the Pussycat Girl on.
Yeah, I started having people sign our door in our shop because of that.
Oh, cool.
It was like a lot of,
That's awesome.
And doing the art shows and too. It was like, oh wow, this is fucking cool, man. Like I really want to do this. Yeah, you guys been doing You do events at you do your annual.
Yeah, the shop party, the anniversary party. We do that every year.
Our fucking art show was on the same exact day this year, so we didn't get to go hang out at each other's things. But yeah. You've had an extensive amount of like guest spot artists too come through over the years.
Oh yeah,
dude, you're good at that.
I don't know how it happened. It just happens, and I'm very like loose with everything. I'm not very organized. So like I see these shops where they're always like promoting the guys online that are coming in, and I'm like, sometimes I just show up and there's a guest and I forgot that they were coming, or especially if it's someone that's come through a bunch. Yeah, they just reach out to probably just a Nick, and then he's like, yeah, come out, or it's cool though. I love it, and it makes it to where all of us, it's like we're getting motivated like a guest, like going and doing a guest spot, but we don't have to leave. So we got someone new we could like feed off of and all that. Yeah, and it's more connections. It's like we could go guest at their shop.
Yeah, that's cool.
Are you doing booth rental in yours? Or
no.
You're
we do the regular
commission.
Yeah, I guess it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. It depends on how you want to run it. Like you were saying. Yeah, Dirk liked doing it that way. We just didn't ever want to do it that way.
Me neither. I feel like I do a lot of merch. I do a lot of promoting and all that, and it then make it where you probably wouldn't be able to do any of that.
No, totally. Yeah. You do great with your merch too. It's always, you always have like a good, fun, like not what we would think of like tattoo-y or something, you just have a lot of fun with it. It's cool.
I can't say I hate, but I really don't care for these days the standard tattoo shirt where it's like they did it on coquille, it's one color. Yeah. You can't tell what the fuck it is. Yeah. I try to do like more graphic design stuff.
For sure. It's stuff that reads well and actually sells. Like, we spent so much money over the years designing our own shirts because we felt we were supposed to and we had to, and they just never would sell. They would just look like shit or something, Well, luckily my mom, like any of that, she had a graphic design background, so she would bring in a lot more high quality, like more like readable, good looking.
It's always sell.
Yeah. I feel like if I wasn't a tattooer, I'd probably like own a t-shirt company or something. Yeah. Because I just love it. And
it's t-shirt cool. Art is fun.
Yeah. My iPad, I have a whole folder, probably like 300 designs of t-shirts that didn't make the cut. Or
do you design most of them?
A lot of them.
Oh no shit. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Well, you work with like Blaze and like other.
I've got Blaze do a handful. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool.
And other artists too. But I just like I like bootleg stuff, I mean? Like I'll take something off an old matchbook and then turn it into a downtown shirt or something, cool. So like I'm never not on my iPad, I guess, I'm always like doodling or coming up with something.
When did you get into the iPad thing? Do you remember?
I was resistant. Dude. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
it took me forever. I was the last guy on the iPad.
Really?
Yeah. I remember we had this younger tattooer in there, and he was like over there drawing on that thing, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" Like, and he's like, "Oh, just zoomed in and traced over and did this, and then I redid that." I was like, that's lame.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, I was like, well, how did you do that? Like, and then as soon as you play with it, it's fucking awesome.
Well, you know who got me into it was Jay Swarm.
Oh, okay.
So I originally got the iPad just so I could digitize my books and have them all in one spot.
Yeah.
And then Jay, we were, what were we coming up with? I think it was just like a sticker design, and he was showing me and he was helping me. And then I was like, this thing's actually useful because, like you come up with a design, you give it to the graphic design guy and he always gets it wrong.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't, he's not in your head. Yeah. And so, Jay showed me the ropes on it, and I started messing with it more. And now it's cool. I just draw, and I don't even have paper anymore.
Yeah. No shit. You still paint a lot. So do you just like print out some of your drawings and then you'll hit them on your light table for painting?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's rad.
I never have gotten used to doing just rough sketches on there. I'll take just a notepad and do my rough
Oh yeah.
Take a picture of it, put it on my
I've done that.
Yeah.
dial it in.
Yeah. It's like
that works for me. I just can't
totally.
do the rough sketch on the iPad for some reason.
Yeah.
My hand doesn't want to.
Yeah, it's
like
different.
The tooth of the paper, I guess.
Yeah.
Just the texture of the paper when you're working like that.
And then those like the little film you could put on it, like feels like paper. It doesn't work.
I tried that once.
I've seen people do
another cough drop in.
Yeah.
I'm not
So like back to kind of your first kind of inspirations and getting into tattooing. You who was your mentor, you said?
Mike Stevens?
Yeah, and he was a local dude. I
Yeah.
remember that name, but I don't know if I can remember it. Like
Yeah,
if I met
I
him.
remember the name too. I know we've met him.
When he first moved out here, he worked at it was either Tattoos R Us or Sin City. They changed names at some point. Remember that?
Okay.
And then he opened a shop called Tattoo Asylum.
Yeah.
So it was originally Imagination Station, I believe. Well, I actually think it was originally Starborn on the east side.
Okay.
Chop in 95. Then I think it was Imagination Station. And then,
Yes. Okay.
Dang, that shop's been so many things.
Frank Black was the guy that owned it.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of time in prison. He had like that was the first person I saw whose whole body was covered. Like
Really?
No like bare spots. It was,
I remember talking to all those guys would come in and talked about working at Studio 21 at some point.
yeah.
And so I interviewed a lot of them, but never saw him again. But I hear he opened up after they came in,
Yeah.
Damn, yeah. And I don't know why I heard you got like some tattoos by Magic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was like, was he at was the Tattoo Asylum? Was there a second location that was like on the Las Vegas Boulevard? Was that because there was Starborn was there?
Starborn. I was getting tattooed. I got tattooed by Magic at Tattoos R Us originally, and then he left there and went to Starborn. Okay. And I got most of my tattoos at Starborn. Cornfed owned it.
Yeah.
Yep. Was your dad a tattooer?
No.
So where did I hear that?
No,
story?
I don't know because he was like,
I must have been confused with someone else. Somebody told me a story about their dad. I can't remember who he was in the shop with, but that was somebody got shot in the leg accidentally.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I thought that was your dad for some reason.
Oh,
There's somebody else I know whose dad was a tattooer who I never met. And I'm like, who was that guy?
My dad did frozen food at Bonds.
Right.
Yeah.
no shit. Yeah.
No tattoos. Okay. Well, that was a totally different story then.
Yeah. Like if you were a young tattooer right now getting into it, like what would you do? Like where would you want to work or
Pussycat, obviously.
Yeah. No, I mean if you think about like I don't know, is there like a place there that you would like to start?
Or like a town or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
I kind of think about that sometimes. You know, like we got so much deep roots in Vegas, but I remember at one point in time I threw a fucking dart at a map and I was like, I'm gonna move here and I'm gonna be a tattooer here, and I ended up in Miami and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, any city like.
Yeah, when you tattoo people from all over the world, which we do, you do.
Yeah.
You talk to people from everywhere, and many times I've had people go, "How come why don't you open a shop in Salem, Oregon?" I'm like, well. There's a lot of towns I could open a shop in, but why? Because I've never even been there. I don't know anything about it.
Like spending a lot of time in San Diego, there was so much great tattooing that came out of San Diego in the early 2000s. And like that just seemed to me like the most amazing place. Like the way Aaron Delavedova set up Guru and stuff. He had a surfboard rack in the back. So you could go down and surf in the morning, come in, draw, and then do your tattoos. And then he even had like an apartment right above the shop to where like he would rent that out to artists. And I'm like, that always just seemed like, well, fuck, that just seems like tattooing by the beach sounds nice.
Yeah, it does sound cool.
Yeah, I wanted to work at Avalon. When I first went in there and met them, and I was like, I'd like to work here.
Oh, man.
Patty was so nice, and it was just such a cool spot.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. She just passed away.
Did she?
Yeah, yeah. And Phip is looking for right now somebody that went into her house and stole a bunch of like really classic tattoo machines and pieces of art that found out that she passed. So it's real fucked up, dude.
That's fucked up.
So if anybody knows out there,
You're robbing a dead lady. That's
fucked up, dude. Yeah,
it's terrible.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but that question, I don't know. I think Las Vegas, man.
I know, right? Like
I can't think of a better city to have learned tattooing. I mean, I'm sure, like San Francisco or like but like I don't know. I just like how it all played out for me.
For sure, dude. I mean, even the location of your Fremont Street shop, it's cleaned up so much nicer around there too, but it still has such just a rich Vegas culture. Like, the fucking cool ass old motels all around there. The way you painted the front of your shop and the neon and everything, and it just, you built a good home. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna be surprised when you go by there next, because all the motels across the street just got demolished.
What?
Yeah, because
Dang, I just was at the
What are they
Ferguson
gonna
like
do
last
down
week.
Ferguson's there.
Oh, okay.
All the boarded up ones.
Oh, okay. All like
Everything
east.
of there.
Oh,
they're
okay.
all demolished. Yeah, Tony Hsieh bought all those, did nothing with them. The junkies got in there, stripped all the copper, caught them on fire.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
So they're just too far gone. And
Isn't all that shit in probate right now too?
condemned.
Because like all that
Yeah.
property, he died and didn't leave a fucking
He didn't
will.
leave
So
a
there's
will.
a shit ton
but
of
then they
buildings.
discovered a will.
Really?
Yeah, they discovered a will like 6 months, a year ago, because his lawyer was so old.
He forgot he did it.
Well, he didn't know that, he didn't know he died.
Oh
And
my God.
someone mentioned it to him. He's like, oh, I have his will. And so
Get the fuck out. This is,
yeah. So then now it's a whole.
dude, the story of that whole thing of like Tony Hsieh
That's
coming into
crazy.
downtown and buying everything and then getting kind of strung out and
Yeah.
like losing his life that's a
I always felt like he wanted to be Howard Hughes. I always felt like, but he was like too dorky to really be Howard Hughes, and he was
Yeah.
like trying too hard.
Yeah.
I felt like it was, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I live a modest life. I live in a tiny home." Yeah, in a tiny home in the middle of downtown that you bought everything.
yeah, and
But
built
there's,
like 42 other tiny homes around you so all your
Oh,
friends
you're
and
so
llamas
modest,
can hang out.
Yeah, you're hoarding all kinds of stuff, like property and everything. Like you're
Yeah.
living so modestly. Yeah, fuck that guy.
There's always some guy coming from out of town and seeing downtown Vegas thinking they're going to
Yeah,
revive it, Bob Snow, I don't know if you remember him, but he's the one that built the station, the something station, the
Main Street?
Main Street station. Yeah.
Oh.
And it was a pilot, and he would drag the banners and fly around town. This was back, I don't know, you guys were little kids, I think. And he would fly, Main Street Station, and he was a big promoter, and but he did everything himself. And I thought that was a really cool property. It was really fun to go in there and have dinner on a train car and stuff. But it failed. I mean, I've just seen so many people come in there and put a bunch of money in, and then leave. They just
yeah.
not all of them leave the way Tony left, but
Not on whippets. Well, his thing was like when he was buying everything, I would read every article that would get published that he was like interviewed in. Everything was like, we're gonna do this like the Bay Area, we're gonna do this like San Francisco. I'm like, Las Vegas has its own identity.
Yeah.
And you cannot replicate the Bay Area in Las Vegas.
I
And
don't want to be like the Bay Area.
yeah.
Actually.
And then he's like, what the container park was, this outdoor mall. I'm like, are you an idiot? Like, you
Yeah,
got
it's
like
125 degrees.
you
You're
have
putting
5
a
or
bunch of
6
small
months out of the year
businesses.
people,
They're all steel boxes,
Yes.
full sun exposure.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to learn that building things in Las Vegas.
No.
Like, you need fucking shade, man. Like,
And
dude,
everything has to face east.
Yeah.
If you have something facing west,
oh, you're screwed.
Yeah.
you're pretty much west.
Yeah.
When we look for a shop location, God, Becky and I would drive and look, and we always wanted a corner, try to find a nice corner. Every time you'd find a corner, either like CVS would be there or whatever, but just trying to find that perfect spot. But you didn't want anything facing west because it's hot as shit in there.
yeah.
The
when you
dispensary we go to, I won't even go there in the afternoon.
Yeah.
to get some weed because
Yeah,
it's
too hot to get
too
weed.
hot to wait.
My first location, we were facing the window. We were on a corner and it was like west.
Yeah.
And if like the certain times of year where you like kick the AC down in the evening,
Yeah.
well, I would tell the guys, crank that shit up before you leave, because the next day
It would be like a hot
so
box.
hot and you would never keep up.
You were literally in a glass box. I remember that. You had east and south facing
Yes.
windows, right? So the sun was all day long.
All
in your
day
spot.
long, yeah.
Well, you're in a good spot now, facing north,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
It's- it's really nice.
That's a good, that's
Yeah.
somebody on both sides of you with air conditioners.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
yeah.
And
You're kinda
that was
like
a
in
thing too.
ice
In
chest.
the first location, the restaurant next to me moved out, and so their air conditioning wasn't like, well, no one was running the air conditioning. I had this like candle. It was like one of those like, like a hand like that candle, and it was on a shelf. And I just watched all summer long that thing just slowly melt because it was like next to that wall.
Yeah.
You could touch the
Right.
wall and it was hot.
Dude, tattooing when the AC is out is no joke.
Brutal.
Dude. In the summertime's here, the sweat just dripping off your nose, and you're trying to like do everything you can to like.
First time Becky and I took a trip with the kids after we moved here in '89, and we had she decorates, has candles everywhere. Took a trip, came home. We turned the air conditioning off to leave. I didn't think about that. You don't turn it off when it's 120 outside. Came home, all the candles were like this in the house. Yeah. Everything in the house was melted.
I'm droopy.
Like, oh, shit. We won't do that again. So, crank it to 85 or 90 or something. And at least 90's cool compared to what it gets if you turn it off,
What did I don't know why I was randomly thinking about this. I started to look up like your Yelp reviews on your shop, and your responses are fucking funny, dude. You bite back, and that's something that I didn't do.
Well,
for a long
I stopped
time.
doing that.
Really?
Yeah. So like for a long time, it was just your shop and my shop were top rated on Yelp.
Yeah.
Like I think you were hip to it before me, and then because we almost closed. Like when we first opened, it was 2008. It was the recession.
Yeah.
And then Yelp called, and they're like, trying to pitch me on it. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, well, I have $300 left.
Yeah.
So like, I'll advertise for $300. And like, we were really close to like,
really?
Yeah. Cause it was just dead, Yeah. And then you started getting all these like little tattoos coming through. These women or you guys that wouldn't like normally get tattooed. They came in, they would leave us reviews. And so I was always watching Yelp, and I always knew you guys were like ahead of us. Yeah.
For sure.
But then like being the I don't know, young jerk that I was, I would, someone would leave a bad review and I would just talk shit to them. And it was funny for, to read, but it wasn't funny when some lady left us a bad review because she like supposedly got an infection.
Oh, God,
well, she did, she went to the hospital or whatever, but it wasn't from the tattoo. I think she's blamed it on.
They'll get tattooed and then go fucking swimming.
Was it on her ankle?
Yeah.
Probably.
I see you touching your
walk. Yeah, I think it was.
The only time I can think of that we had somebody contact us that had an infection, they got tattooed and they walked down the strip all day, sweating and kicking up dirt on it, and they got an infection. Fortunately, she was a nurse and we didn't have any kind of issues. And she called just to tell us it happened. I really appreciate you. But talking about responding to.
But did she? Yeah, did she come back? Or
so I looked at her review. So she said she's left the and I looked at her other reviews. She got an infection from a pedicure. So like part of my thing was like, looks like you're prone to infection. And I was a total jerk to her, right? I should have just like called her. I think she had even called the shop with her concern. Wow. And I was out of town. So like just total dick about her, right? And then she sued us.
Get the fuck out.
She won. Yeah. So like our deductible was $500, but she won. I think her settlement was like $40,000.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn. Okay. So then you just straight stopped with the responding?
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be nice to people from here on out.
That's also, what I used to do. If I saw a bad review, I would find out what their email address is, because you can go backdoor to their email address. And I would send them an email and go, hey, I'm the owner. I'm sorry that you had a bad experience. What can I do to make it better? And 9 times out of 10, that review was gone.
Yeah.
Just by responding. Yeah. I didn't have to do anything. I think once I had to get somebody in Seattle to fix somebody's tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So wise.
But it was like, when people, you just call them up and go, hey, I got this client. I'll pay you to fix it for them.
Yeah.
So they don't have to come. They're not coming back to Vegas.
That's actually smart, because if that happens.
So that was our.
So what was the grounds of suing? Like she claimed the infection and then what?
Yeah. But like, I'm 100% confidence in the guy that did the tattoo.
Yeah.
He did not give her an infection.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I mean? There was, her claim, I'm not going to say it, was ridiculous. And so, like, there's no way he did what she said he did.
Yeah.
And to give her an infection, and like seen that her other reviews, like with a pedicure, she had an infection, think she might have been prone to it. But yeah, I don't know. Even you
went back and looked at her reviews, and she was writing bad reviews on other people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's usually how it works. Like the people that are leaving the bad reviews, that's all they fucking do is only leave bad reviews.
Our first bad review. I never forget her name. Her name was Miss Good Kitty. She was from Southern California. She just ripped us a new one, and she wouldn't. And I've tried, solving the problem with her, writing her. Never would take it down. It was always the first review that shows up, terrible review.
Oh, and then
she didn't even get tattooed at our shop.
Oh.
She came in and she said she had an appointment, but she hadn't made an appointment. She had just talked about making an appointment. So she comes in, doesn't get to get tattooed, says we're in the ghetto, and just writes all this shit about us. She never even got tattooed there. Our worst review of all of our reviews was a customer who never got a tattoo.
I had one of those where the gal showed up and everyone was tattooing and was annoyed that she had to wait a couple minutes for. But we always acknowledge people.
Yeah.
Be right there.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, they said they'd be here and it took 2 minutes to get to me or whatever. Well, they didn't have a counter person. And it's like, so I was obviously was a smart ass. You know.
I read that one just this morning.
Yeah. So you don't know what. Yeah. So I'm better about that. Yeah.
My favorite one was the white tattoo one. You were like, I don't know what she was bitching about. She just wanted to get a white tattoo and they wouldn't do, or I don't know, something like.
I think she got it, but then it like.
What
faded into her skin, like,
totally,
yeah,
like a white tattoo.
And she left a bad review, and Buddy gets on there. It's like once you grow the balls enough to get a real tattoo with black lines that the rest of the world can see, or something. I don't know why. I just thought it was fucking funny.
I'm gonna have to go on and read your review.
Yeah, and those are like
old as fuck. Yeah.
They're still on there, but they'll. Yelp will allow a bad review to stay up there, but then they filter all these good ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's such a fucking scam and so weird. Like. Yeah, because we didn't pay any advertising ever.
Really?
With anything. Yeah, we just were.
Well, it seemed like to me, a conflict of interest for Yelp to be using you. They're using you.
Yeah.
Your business, and they want you to pay them?
Yeah.
It just, I could never.
It's ridiculous.
But then they started pulling some mafioso shit, and they're just like pull all your reviews back and funnel you down to the bottom. And then once you pay, then it like puts you back up. And you're like, you have all this time and energy put into those reviews. And there's like a huge value there, but then now you have to pay them to fucking get people to see it. It's real frustrating. But
I haven't paid them in years.
Yeah.
I heard that they was it Google tried to buy them and they refused. So
really?
Google came out with their own reviews, and that's why everyone goes on Google reviews.
Yeah.
Right.
We do way better off of Google reviews. Actually. Yeah.
So Yelp is like kind of nothing now. It seems.
Yeah, we still it's almost like the second level of checking in on your business. They see the Google and then they'll jump over to Yelp, and then even Google though now it's like we have I think more. We got on that early, like you said. Like I went to San Francisco and I learned about Yelp and like the review culture even thing, you know. And then I built all that out for a shop like right when I got back, and then we got on it and started getting a lot of work off of it, you know, like you said, but. Yeah. So you haven't paid and you don't advertise at all, right?
No.
Yeah.
Because it seems pointless at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
You're paying a company that used to be big.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you going to do for me? Like, are you going to help my Google reviews? Because
yeah,
it does seem like Google reviews took over.
Yeah.
I still use Yelp when I travel and stuff.
I do for like food,
restaurants.
Yeah.
I mean, almost 100%. You can count on those. But I don't know about tattoo shops.
I love sitting in your shop though and watching all the people walk in. Like you're in such a great location. It's so cool. We don't get like that walk-in traffic anymore like we used to back in the day. But I mean, we do, but it's not like as
ours is. They're dropping them off, you know.
Yeah, Uber and dropping people up or whatever. But
so they're walk-ins, but they're not. I like this.
But like he's like on the street corner, and you're like you can sit out front and watch people walk by. It just feels. Cool. I don't know. It's just so cool
awesome.
And like
that's a nice vibe too.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you get the wackies that walk in too, and the fucking weirdos and shit.
That's a fun part of it.
Yeah. And then, you can kind of tell pretty quickly, like, if they're there for the right reasons and stuff.
Oh, easy.
It's fun.
If they're wearing a backpack, they're not there for anything good.
Oh, my God.
Backpack.
So shit, man, what do you got? You got some like ideas? You want to just continue to do books and build shops? You ever going to do 3 shops?
No, I'll never do a 3rd shop. Yeah.
You got a good formula right now.
I guess if I want any more, if I want any more investments, maybe I'll try like a rental property or something.
Yeah.
That sounds like a pain in the ass too.
Yes, it is.
Totally.
More books though, eventually, but I think it'd be more like historical stuff. Like,
yeah. Like the Burt Grimm book you put out was more like
with Aaron Neiman.
Yeah, that was great.
Mainly our collections, and then a few other people contributed. That book was awesome.
That's cool. Fun. So everything in there is actually out of your collection, and
when you look at the book, like in the beginning, it gives credits to who all contributed. Yeah, but like most of it's majority's Aaron, then me, and then everyone else contributed. Like.
Dang, do you ever think you would want to like kind of put some of your collection together in a place where people can view it?
Yeah. I have it at Fremont Street.
Oh, well, I guess
it's all displayed.
So you have it up and out, everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
there's so much to look at in there.
Yeah, recently went to the Salt Lake City Tattoo Museum CJ Fishburne owns that.
No shit. I haven't.
Yeah, he just turned his shop into a museum. Well, he opened a second location, and that location's a museum that they also tattoo out of.
Really?
So it's beautiful. And like, so I was getting ideas.
Yeah.
I just don't know, like, my whole collection is just flash and acetate stencils.
Yeah.
It's kind of making a comeback right now. Isn't it? Good Time Charlie's. He just opened a shop and it's a museum basically.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool. You got all this, like, now we have just this rich history, and now the idea that you can display it, and so many people are into tattooing now and educated about it, and to come and learn and view it is cool.
I wish I'd have grabbed all of Phil Lux stuff when he was selling it. He has so much.
All that stuff back in the day.
I never ever seen, but he got rid of them all. I think he sold them all.
Dang. Well, that's cool though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you have to do to call your place a museum?
Well, I was talking with CJ, and he's like, unless you want like the tax benefits, I think you just call it a museum.
Oh, okay.
It's like your personal collection
That's cool.
museum. But I don't know if I'd have to like restructure it and like display more of it in the front, or I don't know, so I'm brainstorming on it.
Is there a museum police to come around?
That's.
I know you can get grants and stuff, but that seems like more work than I'm willing to deal with.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to be able
the
to
government.
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with the government.
Yeah, it'd just be cool to say like Downtown Tattoo, home of Las Vegas Tattoo Museum. But who knows if I'll do it? I would like to, but
you should.
I'm not going to announce.
I heard ChatGPT is super good at building grants. Or
really?
like writing of grants. Like
shit.
I was interviewing the principal of this school that is like a charter school the other day, and he's like, I just use ChatGPT to write all my grants. I was like, what the fuck?
Whoa, that's
so
cool.
there might be something to look into.
Yeah, I'm like,
to help you out.
But like, I would probably have to move a lot of that vintage stuff toward the front of the shop. So, so I'd have to, and then label things so that, because I don't think I would want to like have to stop every time someone came in and like
totally
explain everything. Yeah.
You don't want to get, put a little name tag on and just stand there with a little mic.
Find some volunteer docents or something.
Yeah.
Sure. But I think I probably need to like also expand my collection more too.
Yeah.
But I do have.
Do you have room down there to expand if you want to?
No. There's a wedding chapel on either side.
Yeah.
But also, like, we have so much.
Which is great for business, right?
Fuck yeah, dude. He says he does good. Yeah.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, people come to Vegas, get married, and get.
I lived right above some of those wedding chapels when I was down there.
So you know.
It's fun to watch them too, I mean,
well, I love that they're always out there taking pictures in front of his shop. Like there's so many people that are getting their wedding photos, like just even a couple shots out of their collection right in front of his shop.
Even if they don't get tattooed, they're like, our shop is still, because we got the neon.
Yeah, it's
so they
beautiful.
Just take pictures.
Catches their eye and they walk in.
And we're all trained on it too. Like you could tell if they want to take pictures. So we'll be, come take pictures, and we'll move out of the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's
and
great.
Then they're always tagging us on.
Do you have wedding flash in there at all?
We do. Yeah,
I bet you do.
Yeah, we have a lot
wedding
of
bells and that sort of thing.
Like some deals with them.
Because like the chapel next door, they have like a whole kind of theme going on, and we've painted designs around that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Idea.
Yeah.
Well, it's good, like working with your neighbors too.
They're good neighbors to have.
Yeah. We always try to set up near a good kind of a bar. Our first one with a Royal Frog. I
remember that.
Which is like the craziest place ever. And turned out it wasn't really a bar. I found out later on, but I won't talk about that.
Okay.
But anyway, it was interesting. So that's why we set up next to Jackson's over there where we are now. A super nice guy. We've always had a good relationship with him as a neighbor.
Yeah, bars are the best to be.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's good to have like community too, and like network with your other small businesses around there.
Yeah.
When you have your parties too, send everybody over there.
Yeah.
You ready to go home? Go to the bar.
Yeah.
You still host your anniversary party in the whole back parking lot too?
Yeah,
because it's all private now, right?
Yeah.
So you have a lot less like weird traffic coming through because they gated it all up?
No, so the landlord did that because we were like as things have been developing downtown.
Yeah.
People will park in our parking lot and go walk up to the other businesses. So we tried to strike a deal with the downtown project where like you pay X amount and that helps like me maintain the lot. And it was nothing. It was like $300.
Yeah.
I think that he was asking them and they refused. She's like, well, screw it. I'm going to put up the pay parking and we all validate.
Yeah.
So we don't have to pay, our customers don't have to pay. But yeah, they're like, instead of paying him $300 to like help him clean up the garbage that all the people leave, they screwed themselves. But yeah, so now when we have our event, he just makes it to where you can't open those gates to where
That's
so
cool.
the cars they'll leave, but no new cars could come in, and he's awesome. Yeah,
That's so good, dude. How long you been tattooing now?
Next month will be 25 years.
Dang.
How about you? You got more than me.
Yeah, I've been like light on my tattooing this last year, but yeah, I started tattooing in 2000.
Okay,
So,
that was 2001.
Yeah.
Sort of.
What about you, Charlie?
Also at the same time.
Yeah, so he didn't start tattooing until he was like in his 40s.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Sorry,
isn't that crazy?
Right at the same time.
Yeah.
Basically, 6 months behind him, I finished my apprenticeship. And,
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't start. I had a full career before that.
Yeah.
So
What'd you do?
land surveyor, civil engineering.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was totally different.
Yeah.
Super
The
corporate.
weirdest thing is
Okay.
I still have dreams about being a land surveyor and working on these projects, but I never have dreams about tattooing.
Really?
I don't know why. That's just very strange.
That is-
Do you ever have nightmares like
I think it might be nightmares. It's like I don't want to.
Yeah.
when I was working a whole lot, I remember like having these nightmares of me like all of a sudden realizing I didn't have gloves on while I was tattooing. Or I don't know why. It was like, sometimes those dreams are just so real, but feeling how awkward it feels like to touch a steel tube without any fucking latex in between you is just like the strangest feeling if you're not used to it. And I remember like having these nightmares of like, or just like realizing like
you're talking about. I just said I never have dreams about it, but I do think I do have dreams about tattooing without
gloves and
without gloves on,
or I
which is
can't get a
weird.
line in. It's just like it's just fucking going. It's like you're trying to fight, but your arms are just like butter. I just remember having those dreams a lot. Like was just working 6-7 days a week and just trying to like deal with all.
When you
like,
first started your first business, did you work 7 days a week?
Yeah.
So did we. Our goal, we did 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and we made it 7 months, and we finally decided we
went to 6 days a week and rotated one day off for him and then one day off for me. Yeah.
But that's how we hit it. We just hit it hard, hard for the first couple of years. And then
but it's like when you open a new business, like you should want to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like
you didn't,
actually, I don't feel like I've worked since I got out of the engineering business. After that, I've basically been retired.
Yeah, just having fun.
I've been doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think I always wanted to have, my dad didn't have a business or anything. He worked for a big corporation. And when he finished up, they shit on him after, 30 years of working for him. And I thought, I don't want my kids to have to, I want to have a business with my family. And so that's how we, I mean, that's part of how that happened. Originally, when I got my first tattoo, Austin with me, he was 10 years old. And he went with me to Dante's.
Oh, yeah.
Boulder Highway uses G, dude.
And he went out there with me twice. And the second time, he watched the whole process and everything. We walked out in the parking lot. I go, we should tattoo together. He was 10. He was 19 when we started tattooing together.
That's awesome.
So, it was already in our head that far back. That was like maybe in 89 or 90 when we started thinking about wanting to get into it.
That's awesome.
Almost wish, sometimes I think, I could have done it at any time, right? I could have done it in Houston back before we came out here. But had I done it in Houston, I probably would have been finished way earlier and gotten out of it or killed myself doing drugs or something. That's possible.
I feel that way too, because like when I was 18, I got offered an apprenticeship at Sin City Tattoo. My friend Nick, who ended up getting my apprenticeship at Tattoo Asylum, he had said I could get you in, and I was like, I had done them out of my house in high school, and I hated it. It was so frustrating. I was like, nah, blah, blah, blah. And then worked some real jobs and realized, and then hung out in tattoo shops enough. I was like, I kind of want this, and then got in. But if I would have done it, then I would first off, like some of the guys I would have been exposed to, like some of those dudes.
It's a rougher crowd.
Yeah, it was a rougher crowd, and some of those dudes died, they overdosed and stuff like that. And like I wouldn't have been exposed to the tattooers I was exposed to when I got the experience. So I'm kind of grateful, or very grateful, that I didn't jump on that.
I think we got into it at a perfect time.
Yes.
Really, actually.
I think I would have. I definitely, especially because when I was that young,
historically,
it
was a good time because prior to that, the tattooers were pretty rough. And
well, there wasn't shit for competition really either. Like at the time when we opened, you opened a little later than us, but like when we opened, like there was only a couple people our age learning how to tattoo in town.
Yeah.
And then when we opened, it was like, I was the tattooer for all of my friends' circles and their friends' circles, you know? So then it's progressively more of like my acquaintances and friends got in and started infiltrating my circles. And then it was just like, now it's like, I don't even know who tattoos in this town sometimes. It's really difficult.
There was a point where we knew everybody.
Yeah. Wasn't it a cooler community too? Yeah, I don't want to say cooler, but like it was cool.
Yeah, you knew everyone that tattooed or you knew of them.
Yeah.
Like those rare guys that didn't go out, they were kind of hermits. Like you knew of them, you saw their work around and you could tell too. But yeah, like it was cool. Like being able to experience that, like less shops and everything, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
I almost like feel like I love it. I think it's cooler now.
Yeah, well, you got some deep roots in it too, you know.
And the way you're doing it too, you know.
Yeah.
The way you're doing it is cooler. That's what makes it cooler, I think.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like the three of us started like at a time where it was like we got that experience.
Yeah,
you know, and like the guys that are getting into it now are getting a different experience. So it's going to be cool. They're gonna in 25 years. Be sitting there talking with each other and thinking, man, that was so cool.
Yeah.
These guys don't know, you know, like these guys don't know what they missed out on. And it's going to just keep happening. You know? And the guys 25 years before us were saying the same shit about us, you know?
Yeah.
I remember we were in Washington, Austin, and I went up to Vancouver, Washington. Somebody contacted me to do a convention up there. I said, Jeff, I love Vancouver. So I signed up, sent my money and everything. And then I said, I can't wait to get back to BC. I haven't been there in a while. And she sends me an email back. She goes, I'm sorry, we're in Vancouver, Washington. Are you still coming? And I was like, fuck yeah, we're still coming. So we came. Anyway, Lyle Tuttle was there. And I had, I don't know if you ever saw our Penny Smasher.
Oh, yeah.
We have 3 designs on there. And I thought, this pretty unique. I've never known a tattoo shop that had a penny smasher. So in Vegas, a lot of people smash pennies. I mean, it's not a money maker, but it's a funny thing. And I've always collected.
I got your pennies.
Yeah. I've always collected the pennies. That's how I talked Becky into it. I said, have you ever seen a business with a penny smasher go out of business like the Grand Canyon or Disneyland? And she's like, no, you're right. So
the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon's still in business, surprisingly.
It's going to be in business forever. So, but Lyle came up to our table. I used to spread those out at the conventions. I'd smash hundreds of them and just spread them out.
Yeah.
And people were just amazed that they were free. They would come up and look at them and, are these free? I'm like, yeah, take one, take a couple of them, whatever. And, they got, and it said world famous Studio 21 tattoo. And in my opinion, we were world famous. We were tattooing people from
in
all
Las
over
Vegas.
the
Tattooing people from
and had been for a long time. Lyle comes up. And I knew he had a penny smasher. He had a story about his penny smasher, but he didn't say it. He picks his penny up, he looks at it, looks around, throws it back down like he's mad, and looks at me, and he walks off on his cane. And I walk over, excuse me there, Mr. Tuttle. I said, you didn't like my penny. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you with that. Anyway, he stops and starts talking to me about it. So somebody had stolen his penny smasher. Come to find out, Phil Luck knew where it was. It was in New York somewhere. And so that's what he was mad about, was somebody stole his. He was the first guy at tattoo shop to have a penny smasher.
Oh, shit.
And so he wasn't upset with us for copying his idea. I didn't know he had penny smasher. I would have still gotten one anyway. But it was pretty funny just watching his face. And I was like, wonder what pissed him off about the penny smasher.
Did he just pass away?
A couple of years ago.
Why did I just, it must have been like an anniversary post or something. I don't know why.
Lyle Tuttle?
Yeah.
Someone's running his account.
Oh,
so
okay.
It makes it look like sometimes you wonder if he's still alive.
Yeah.
Right.
How's your body doing with tattooing over the years? You were having issues with your carpal tunnel and
tennis elbow. My hands always ache.
That's never going to stop. My hands hurt too.
My back hurts right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
I should be switching to those like pen machines. I just can't.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I can't get the hang of them.
Yeah,
dude. I got one of those little skinny pens. I guess Austin found them.
I just bought some because it was weird. Yeah, it was like a Chinese manufacturer.
Skinny?
Drops too.
A skinny?
It's a pen. It's a tattoo machine. It's only like this fucking big. It's so weird.
How is it to tattoo it?
It fucking rips, dude. It's
3.5 hours. Just nonstop.
It has the little battery pack that plugs. You can get any RCA plug in the back, and then you wrap it, and the damn thing's like just the battery pack kind of rests right here.
It's unbelievable.
It's pretty weird. It
makes no noise. I didn't try any of the rotary machines or anything. I went straight from coil machine to this little pin. I tried one other.
I use the Blitz rotaries and the Neotat rotaries and the Shag Builts. I'll use those for years, and I really like those. That was my first kind of step away.
You know why I didn't use those? It made me mad when I'd walk into the shop and it got quiet.
I fucking hate it still this day. We have one guy that uses coils, and it's like a warm blanket feeling, you know. And I'm like,
I go by and thank him every time I walk through there. I'm like, Josh, I love the sound of the.
I fucking hate when it's slow or it feels slow. Everyone could be tattooing and it feels fucking dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then people got their headphones on. It's just like the newer kind of thing. I'm like, not the artists, but the like even the clients, like they'll come in and put their headphones on and look at their. I don't really like.
It sounded like a tattoo convention when you'd walk into the shop. You know, it was just like, all day from noon till fucking midnight. You know,
pretty much everybody in your shop still use coils, right?
My shop, yeah. We'll occasionally get like a guest that'll come through and use the pen,
the old dildo.
And you almost like. You're cautious because you don't want to bump into their table or whatever because you forget that they're tattooed.
Yeah. You don't know if they're pulling a line or not.
I do have a pen that I tried a few times, and I worked on this dude's back the other day. I did quite a bit of work with this.
With just the mag. You
just plug the cartridge. That was convenient.
Yeah.
And just doing it, it's like I don't feel like because I was just packing solid for the most part, so that was easy. And I saw it healed recently. I was like, oh, that actually worked out.
Yeah.
But trying to whip, I can't get the hang of that.
And line work is fucking.
I don't even think I'll ever.
Time.
Man, I took right to it. I love that thing. I didn't want to try it on anybody. So I have this guy an attorney that I tattoo in exchange for legal work, and I called him up and said, hey, you want to go on a free tattoo? I want to try this machine. And I don't want to try. I've tried it on myself, but I don't want to try it on anybody else until I, try it out. So he had this rocket piece, real cool, traditional. Not the piece wasn't. I did it traditional, but I whipped that thing out. Did it in about 2 hours. Pretty good sized piece on his thigh, and I looked at it and I was like, that thing looks awesome. I wonder how it's going to heal.
Yeah. Right.
I said, let me know, send me a picture in a couple of weeks when it heals. 4 days later, it's freaking healed. And he goes, this thing is unbelievable. And it still looks just amazing.
Weird.
How does that work?
Did you ever get into building tattoo machines?
No, but I did help.
Even with Ryan?
I helped Downey in our garage.
Yeah.
He was building machines. I think I've touched, helped make every part of a machine.
Yeah.
But not the whole machine.
Just something that never really
coils and that's a fun process.
Go back and forth.
Travis, I have a couple Downey machines.
I never built machines, but Travis in Florida.
Yeah, Hsieh. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's all CHASEZ.
We had this fight ring bell. I don't know if you've seen it in our shop, but it's it was in a school or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like the boxing ring bell.
But kind of like one of these, but
huge.
It's still
it's just fucking huge.
It wouldn't run. I found it at an antique store somewhere or something. And Travis goes, let's rebuild that thing and make it run.
That's sick.
Fuck yeah, that'd be cool. So I helped him do that. Helped him wrap the coils and stuff on it. Giant coils. They're like this big around. And but I have a little button under the counter in there. You can just push the button and ring the bell.
That's awesome.
And it's way cool. Yeah. It was fun. A fun little project. That's my only experience with wrapping coils. I've watched people do it, but I never did it myself.
Yeah. Shit, man. I don't want to keep you all day, but I was just real pumped to sit down with you, and thank you for taking the time and
thanks for having me.
And I don't know, man. Anything else you want to tell us? Maybe drop some knowledge on some young tattooers.
Have fun.
Yeah,
that'd be my only advice. I wouldn't do anything different.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun with tattooing.
Yeah.
I guess the advice I would say is what Roger always says: take care of tattoo, and tattoo will take care of you.
Yeah,
because none of us deserve this.
It's so great, dude.
So just take care of it, and it'll take care of you.
Yeah. If you're doing something you like, it's like being a musician or whatever. If you're doing something you like, you probably could do it forever.
Yeah.
The hands may be given out. I don't know. My hands hurt, but
Yeah.
not as much as when I was tattooing all the time.
Yeah,
But they still hurt.
Yeah.
I was figuring maybe start shading with that
Yeah.
weird ass.
You should
Pen
try
thing.
one just for
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I'll bring mine by and let you borrow it if you want. Yeah.
You could do his tattoo with it.
Hell yeah.
So, well, shit. How does everybody find you? We're at,
Just on Instagram at Buddy Holiday.
it's Downtown Tattoo Las Vegas.
I think that's all I have is Instagram. So
Yeah.
Downtown Tattoo Las Vegas, Downtown Tattoo Henderson,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
So you have 3 different Instagrams that you can.
Well, I have mine and then the 2 shops.
Shops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. You're somebody that I've always admired in our city, and just I absolutely love your shops, and I can't wait to come back down there. I want to do some like video stuff, walking through and everything.
Well, thank you.
I
Yeah,
think
you're
it'd be
welcome anytime.
man. It's
Yeah,
just-
and I'll actually have to show you all the old flash I have.
yeah.
I know you've seen it, but it's probably just blends
Yeah,
in with everything else. So,
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate all the support, everything. Like, jump on there, subscribe, do all the things. If you could, I would greatly appreciate it. We've been having a good time doing this, and we're coming up on almost like 20 episodes or 20 something episodes. So we're trying to fine tune it and put a little more out there. And just I'm so grateful that like so many fantastic tattooers have been able to come by and sit down with us. So thank you guys, and have a good one. All right. Peace.